episode number 266 for all the folks that are keeping track of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And before we get into anything else, I'd like for everybody to please spread it around like wildfire that True Capitalist Radio is in effect and in the house. We are live and live every Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, boy. Do you understand that? We got all kinds of little Facebook like buttons, retweet this button, share this buttons right next to the player, right in front of you right there. Use and abuse those buttons, baby, and spread it around like wildfire that we are in effect and in the house. And if you haven't already done so, folks, please follow me on Twitter. That's right. The Twitter name to follow is Politics Ghost. All one word, no underscores. Politics Ghost is the name to follow on Twitter. Anyway, folks, I want to get right into this Monday edition of the True Capitalist Radio Show. We got a lot of things to talk about, so the first thing I want to talk about is, have you seen those oil prices, baby? And the only reason that I'm gloating about this, because rising oil prices doesn't really fare very well in our kind of precarious economy at this point in time. So the last thing we need is higher gas prices to already kind of stifle questionable economic numbers and consumer confidence and whatnot. But I want to get to this very quickly because we got a lot of news, got a lot of Trump news that I want to get to, folks. The Trump train steams full steam ahead, baby, and we're going to get to that in just a second. But the reason I want to talk a little bit about the crude oil prices rising, folks, is because when yours truly came back and started broadcasting in late March, and everybody was asking, oh, what should I do, Ghost? I mean, what kind of investments? I don't know what to do. I was telling everybody that they should not even entertain this precarious, weird, fixed stock market that is basically being pumped up by the fund managers, folks. And that's why I'm saying this particular stock market, equities market, commodities market, all being colluded and manipulated by Wall Street and the government, folks. There was a merging, as I've stated time and time again, during the damn 08-09 crisis, the economic crisis of the United States. The merging of government and Wall Street happened during that bailout, folks, and you're witnessing it at this point in time. Now, with that said, when I came back, I suggested that no one should entertain any kind of equities or any kind of investments at this point in time. And what I did say is for folks that wanted to possibly squeeze out a little bit of capital, within the next few months in the short term, and I said for the next 2 to 3 quarters, I believe I said that. I still am firm on that assessment, that you should entertain the financial instrument ETFs, or exchange-traded funds, which, of course, it's much like a mutual fund per se. The only difference is, folks, is that you can trade it as a stock. It can be day traded if you're a day trader, and it can be traded on the short term, long term, whatever the case might be. It's very flexible financial instrument. Anyway, folks, I suggested that folks that wanted to make some gains here within the short term, like I said, 2 to 3 quarters, to entertain purchasing an ETF that correlates with the price of oil, whether it's WTI sweet crude or Brent crude oil, folks. And if you don't know the difference, WTI sweet crude is the crude oil consumed in America, and Brent crude is the oil consumed in Europe. To go ahead and entertain an ETF that coincides with the rise in oil prices, folks. All right? And, folks, if you hadn't entertained that at this point in time, I think you lost out on yet another economic opportunity that yours truly has been given out to you, folks. I mean, ever since I started True Capitalist Radio Show, I've been shooting pearls to you people. I've been shooting pearls. And whether or not many of you folks have, taken those pearls and made gold out of it, I have. I don't know. I know some of you have. I have gotten some correspondence from some folks that have actually done something with the information that I have put forth. And for all those folks that don't know where to look for it, it's at blogtalkradio.com/ghost, the official website of the True Capitalist Radio Show, blogtalkradio.com/ghost. All the archives are there. It's documented, baby. Woo! I'm telling you, baby, that's why they call this true capitalist radio. Baby, I'm making money, baby. That's what I do. Woo! Anyway, I don't want to gloat too much. I just wanted to let everybody know that we're seeing rise in oil prices. If you would have just entertained an ETF, just as I suggested in late March, even in early April, folks, hell, even into mid-April, you'd be making some, at least a decent amount of capital that's going way beyond any goddamn, traditional financial instrument like a bond, and even beating the rate of inflation at this point. But like I said, folks, to each their own. Let me just go ahead and go over the prices of WTI sweet crude, all right? WTI sweet crude is at $47.85 per barrel, an increase of 3.55% on the day, folks. 3.55% on the day, okay? Let's go to Brent crude, shall we? It is at $49.04, an increase of 2.53%, folks. All right, now, I did not only suggest this to oil, I also suggested this to gold, the same ATF financial instrument. I suggested that those wanted to make a little bit of a buck, all right, to entertain the ETFs that correspond with the price of gold going up, and silver as well, folks. And if you would have done that, folks, I mean, it's a gradual return. I think that it's more of a long-term increase, especially as we get closer to the election time. In my personal opinion, I think the powers that be are going to leave Donald Trump with an economic mess. And as a result, you're going to have a lot of investors not knowing what the hell to do with all the damn printed money that they've been holding in the equities market that's going to come tumbling down at any point now. They're going to not know what to do, so they're going to put it in something that is traditionally been a safe haven to hold one's liquidity. And it's commodities, it's gold, it's silver, it's the old traditional ways, the old pre-fractional reserve banking safety net. But if you've been listening to me, folks, and entertained the ETFs as it corresponds with the increase in gold and silver, you would have also made some decent capital yourself. And of course, folks, gold is very slight increase on the day. It's only 0.03% increase, but it's at about $1,273.81 per troy ounce. All right, seriously, I mean, come on, man. Weren't we just at, breaking 1,200 here recently? I mean, that's what I'm talking about, baby. That is what I'm talking about. Anyway, folks, I don't want to get into the markets, folks, because as I've stated, we're going to see another crash here at any point. And once again, it's hard to pinpoint when the crash is going to happen because, as I've stated, folks, this is a rigged system. The people that are manipulating the equities markets are all fund managers, whether it's a hedge fund, whether it's a mutual fund, whether it's a pension retirement fund that fiddles around with the stock markets, whatever it is. I mean, there's just these big, huge money managers that are in charge of hundreds of millions, tens of millions, sometimes billions of dollars that they can just kind of play around the stock market with so that they could, gain some liquidity for their clients while at the same time putting some coin in their pocket for making the money in to begin with. This is what it's all about, folks. And I mean, the reason that this market is so precarious, the individual investor is no longer an element in the market. And you see, we're going to go over Trump's tax plan here in just a few minutes. But this is one thing that I think that us as capitalists need to suggest to the Trump campaign. And if you're listening to me, and if you're a capitalist, I strongly advise you to please do so. I would strongly advise you to suggest to Trump, whether through Twitter or other social media means, whether it's email, whatever the case might be, that Donald Trump take off this law that prohibits individuals, all right, from day trading. Now, this law, believe it or not, is once again something that these damn liberals decided to just shove down our throats because they decided to say that during the 2008-2009 crisis that it was the individual investors' fault to some extent, and they should be punished. So what happened is that they prohibited Anybody who doesn't have at least $25,000 in a trading account, in a stock trading account, it prohibits those that don't have $25,000 in a stock account from day trading. Now, what I'm saying about day trading, folks, is trading stocks more than I believe the law says 3 times within a day. I believe that's what the law says. I mean, that law doesn't apply to me, folks. I'm doing some day trading, but I'm not dependent on it, folks. I think at any point in time, the crash will just happen, and before you know it, you're holding, the bag, and I'm just, precariously day trading based on news, and shorting as well. But once again, folks, wouldn't you like to be able to put, I don't know, $500 or $1,000 into some kind of an account so that, like, hey, you're off tomorrow, let's say, and you want to go look at, Fox Business, CNBC, go look at the information areas of the Internet as it pertains to the stock market, and you want to day trade. You have a speculation that some earnings of some company is going to announce midday of the stock day, and you based on the information. Of course, you want to check, their last quarter's earnings. You want to base that with the news. You want to base that with consumer sentiment, this and that. All right. Oh, somebody just thank you to Laggett Tix, LAGITX. Thank you very much. He just said that the law is 5 day trades a week, or every 5 trading days is the law. Thank you very much for that, by the way. So that is the law, folks. You can't do 5 day trades a week or every 5 trading days. Let me go ahead and retweet that, by the way. That's what I'm saying. I mean, we need this law completely just called off the books so that individuals who make capital, whether they're working hard, whether they're individual workers, and they want to build liquidity, they want to build quick liquidity, they should have the opportunity to do so, just like these fund managers are doing with other people's money, because that's what the fund managers are doing. They're just doing it with other people's money. I mean, wouldn't you want to just go $500, $1,000 if you're lucky, or have saved enough and you have confidence in your investing skills enough, $5,000, $10,000? Wouldn't you want the ability to be able to get a stock and be correct on the speculation that you researched and you investigated, and be able to hold a stock for, I don't know, whatever the time may be, whether it be 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, the end of the day, whatever the case might be? Wouldn't it be great to be able to build money, all right, build liquidity within a day's time? I'm talking big-time liquidity, folks. I mean, it is not impossible to make thousands of dollars sitting back trading stocks all day. It's not impossible, I'm telling you, all right? I mean, you just have to understand what the market is. You have to be in coordination with all the elements of capitalism. You got to pay attention to consumer sentiment. You should go out to the shopping centers, go out to the shopping malls, look in people's shopping carts, take a look at what people are consuming. I mean, why do you think I know about all this crap like World Star Hip Hop and all this crap? I have a well-rounded view of knowledge, and the reason is, folks, is because it's economically viable for me to do so. I mean, all these elements, all these factors, build my reasoning to invest and build my speculation. I mean, this is why I've been fairly successful. I mean, the proof is in the documentation of this show. Ever since I started this show, I've been suggesting things to people, and they've been coming to pass, for Christ's sake. Now, as I stated before I get off keister here, we need to tell Donald Trump that this law of $25,000 as a prerequisite, as a legal prerequisite to participate in day trading is completely ridiculous. And I think that everybody, and I mean everybody that has the ability to be able to save money, whether it's $500, $1,000, even if it's $100, whatever brokerage firm is allowing you the minimal amount deposit, whatever brokerage firm you go into, and you want to take a day off of whatever your job is and try to turn that $500 and make 250 out of it, just as a day's work, just sitting back, speculating, trading at the comfort of your damn chair, at the comfort of your sofa. I mean, I don't understand why they made this illegal. I mean, this is a freaking slap in the mouth to capitalists and budding capitalists by the liberals, by the bureaucrats. That's why, Donald Trump, if you're listening, you have to take this law off the books. We need to bring back individual investors into the market. All right, we need individual investors again. Remember, we used to have all these goddamn trading firms advertising to us all the time? Remember that in the early 2000s, 1990s, for Christ's sake? Man, I mean, it's like freaking, they were in Super Bowl commercials, for Christ's sake. You don't see that anymore because there's not that many individual investors. They're not relevant anymore. That's why this damn market is so helter-skelter. I mean, look, just to show you how ridiculous this market is, all right? You've got commodities in the positive, and you've got equities in the positive. All right, that just completely defies traditional investing. All right, and I've said this over and over. I'm going to say this one more time, then I'm going to move on to Trump news. The whole reason why this is helter-skelter is because traditionally, when you see a rise in commodities, you traditionally see a decrease in equities. Vice versa, if you see an increase in equities, i.e. stocks, you traditionally see a decrease in commodities. So whenever I see increases in both commodities and equities, I mean, I'm telling you, it's a helter-skelter market. This is just ridiculous. I'm not trying to sound like a bear investor here, but bear investing at this point in time is needed. This is a rigged system. They're trying to sucker everybody's money into the damn market before they take everybody out. I personally would not invest it in this market. If you have like your life savings and you're trying to save it or something, the last place you want to be is in the damn equities market. There's going to be a crash, and I'm waiting for that crash, folks. I mean, I've cashed out. I've sold my real estate. I've sold all the long-term equities with the exception of a few long-term blue chips that pay off good dividends. I've sold them all off. All right, now I'm holding a lot of liquid out here, and the reason I am is because when this damn crash happens, and I'm telling you, when it happens, it's going to hurt. It's going to be a lot like 2008 and 2009. You're going to have a lot of credit freezes. Banks are going to stop giving loans, that sort of thing. You may even have some credit recalls. You may even have some loan recalls, for heaven's sake. They're already talking about bringing in negative interest rates, meaning that you as the freaking bank account holder are going to have to pay the bank interest for holding your money. I mean, it's ridiculous. But this is the new reality, folks. And that's why I'm saying the next crash that happens, I believe the same goddamn thing's going to happen in 2009. It's going to happen again this next crash. The only difference is that if Donald Trump is president, if it is bailed out again to prop up the dollar, which I believe he'll do, anybody has to do it. All right, anybody is going to have to do it. Donald Trump is going to be cutting that damn deficit. All right, I mean, he's got invaluable financial tools that he knows at his disposal to be able to cut down this deficit, lower taxes, and just completely restructure the fiscal responsibility of this government. All right, and we're going to talk about that here in a second. But that's why I'm saying there's going to be one more crash, and I believe that during that crash, and when they finally bail out the damn whole system again, that'll be the last time. I mean, unless somebody repairs the system thereafter, that'll be the last time, the very last time that the government or any kind of other bailout will ever happen again. And that'll be the end of the dollar if somebody doesn't rectify the situation thereafter. But when they bail it out again, there's going to be another increase thereafter. There's going to be, the same thing that happened in 2009 to now is going to be the same thing that it's going to happen when the damn collapse happens, and then it's going to gradually increase for the next 4 to 5 years. All right? And that's why I am waiting for those damn stocks to start tumbling down, baby. I want to see Dow Jones 6,000. All right, I'm not kidding around. Hey, look, I'm not saying that because I want the damn system to collapse. I'm just saying I am ready. I am prepared. This time around, I am so prepared to start going in and buying these goddamn stocks, penny on the... I'm talking blue chips, baby. I'm talking long-term, well-funded, low-debt companies that are multinational in nature that can withstand a potential retraction. And when I say can potentially withstand a retraction, meaning that they can either stay afloat, break even, but definitely not go bankrupt, definitely not cut half their corporation or whatever the case might be. So once again, I believe that we are going to go into another crash, and when that crash happens, baby, I am going to just grab stocks like it's going out of style. And let me tell you, when the next 4 years happens, filthy rich, baby. Woo! I can't wait, baby. I can't wait. And I hope that you're listening, and I hope that you remember everything that I've been saying, because I'm telling you it's going to happen again. Anyway, folks, I want to move on to the next subject matter. I didn't mean to take so long on the markets, but this is True Capitalist Radio, and I do want everybody to be aware of these types of things, because I am trying to create new capitalists via this show. It's the whole motivating factor, aside from electing one Donald Trump. This is the whole reason why I came back to this broadcast. So didn't mean to get too much off keister off that, but hey, it's necessary, and I hope that you folks take that information and do with it as you wish. Anyway, let's move on to the Donald Trump news, folks. I mean, have you seen the amount of goddamn attacks that are coming at Donald Trump from the mainstream media? I mean, the New York Times hit piece, the infamous New York Times hit piece already, that completely misquoted some girlfriend of Donald Trump. I don't even want to say the lady's name, but I think her name is Brewer, or her last name is Brewer, I believe. Is her name Brewer, engineer? Yeah, something Brewer. Anyway, this alleged interview that Brewer gave to the New York Times, that was the basis and the meat of the New York Times hit piece on Donald Trump, basically was fabricated, manipulated completely by the New York Times. It came out this morning on Fox and Friends with an interview with this lady Brewer, that this Brewer lady was saying that the New York Times completely manipulated her words, completely, just fabricated everything that she said. She came out and said Donald Trump is a kind man, nice man. Never saw him, be, hurtful to women, demeaning to women, whatever the case might be. She's going to vote for Donald Trump. I mean, she even said it. So once again, I mean, this is just one of many hit pieces that are coming out about Donald Trump that are just complete lies. That's why the mainstream media is dying. You're dying, mainstream media. Good riddance. I'm serious, man. Complete and utter false lies. And the assholes that actually ran this New York Times hit piece were on CBS morning show with that ridiculous, mummified, bland idiot. What's his name? Charlie Rose. And what's that? Oprah's alleged lover, too. What the hell's her goddamn? She's the anchor, whatever the hell her name is. Which I don't understand what gave her journalistic legitimacy, but I don't want to digress. But the New York Times assholes actually came out and defended this hit piece, even after the lady that they supposedly interviewed, that was the meat of this New York Times hit piece, came out and discredited the whole goddamn thing. So once again, I mean, it just goes to show you that if you're gathering your information from the mainstream media, all right, if you're gathering your information from the boob tube, I mean, you are completely doing yourself a disservice, and you're basically being incepted a perception of reality that is completely false. All right? I'm serious, that are completely false. I'm telling you, the majority of these goddamn idiots on the mainstream media are socialist, schlonghead sucking morons that literally want to turn this goddamn country into whatever goddamn social engineering freak show that we currently have before us today. So give me a goddamn break with these lies. And you know, another thing they lied about Donald Trump about, his tax plan. Jesus Christ. I mean, he has an interview, I believe it was last Sunday, with the NBC political morning show with one Chuck Todd. And I don't know if you remember how Chuck Todd or why Chuck Todd's even relevant. I mean, in my opinion, this idiot was the master propagandist for the Obama campaign in 2008 via MSNBC correspondent. I mean, this guy literally had his head shoved so far up Obama's anal passage, I'm pretty sure he saw, I don't want to know. Anyway, but do you understand what I'm saying? Chuck Todd's interviewing Donald Trump. Donald Trump is explaining his tax plan to this idiot Todd, and this idiot Todd tries to, use some liberal doublespeak in trying to question him about his particular tax plan. And we're going to get to it here in just a second. And in that doublespeak, liberal, manipulative crap, he tried to suggest, well, wait a minute. You mean to tell me that the rich are going to have to pay more, that you're okay with the rich, paying more? And Trump goes, yeah, I don't mind if in my tax plan, you understand that, Chuck Todd? In my tax plan, I'm willing to negotiate under my tax plan the top 1%'s tax bracket, you stupid jerk-off. And let me tell you, the mainstream media took that exchange, and ran with it for the freaking whole last week, even into this weekend, that, Donald Trump doesn't know what he's talking about as it relates to taxes. Well, you know what, you morons? I'm going to explain Donald Trump's tax plan right now, all right? So everybody can get it straight, all right? And as Donald Trump suggested, this is just a preliminary tax plan. He understands that what is being proposed, 100% of it is obviously not going to get passed. But what he did say, and not only Chuck Todd's interview, but a whole bunch of interviews, that in this tax plan, in his tax reform bill, he is going to fight to make sure that whatever is quoted on this tax plan stays that way for the middle class and the lower class. All right? I mean, that's just all there is to it. Let's go ahead and get to the tax plan, folks, so that people can get well-rounded of understanding why Donald Trump's tax plan is not only great for America, but great for capitalists. Absolutely excellent for capitalists, excellent for workers, excellent for earners, individuals that are actually earning their money instead of sucking the government teeth for every goddamn thing. So let's get to it, for Christ's sake, all right? It's called the tax reform that will make America great again. All right, I'm going to get right to the bullet points and explain the crux of the majority of what's in this plan, all right? Now, number one, for the goals of Donald Trump's tax plan, all right? Tax relief for middle-class Americans. In order to achieve the American dream, let people keep more of their money in their pockets and increase after-tax wages. All right, I'm serious. I mean, how hard is this? All right, I mean, this is what capitalism is all about. That's why I keep telling you, stupid Bernie Sanders, feel the burn in your crotch morons, that you idiots, whether you agree with socialism or communism, it doesn't matter. Money is still involved, morons. There is no model that does not involve money. All right? Now, under communism and socialism, it means that the government, the bureaucrats, the Politburo or whatever bureaucracy that's in power over you has sole authority over the money collected. Do you understand that? I mean, how hard is this for you idiots to grasp, all right? That's why capitalists, we believe that, hey, wait a minute, we're the ones working our asses off. I mean, we're the ones that are the machinery behind government. I mean, without capitalists, without the worker, without individuals innovating, creating, there would be no government. And that's what capitalists are all about. They expect that if they earned the money, they should keep more of their money. I mean, they're not ridiculous in believing that there's no taxes. There's going to be absolutely no taxes. But by God, if there's going to be taxes, it better be appropriated to the right things that are going to make our community better. They better be appropriated to the right infrastructure resources. They better be appropriated to the right military resources. They better be appropriated to the right things in general. And that's all there is to it, man. I mean, that's why capitalism is what everybody should attain as far as a global model is concerned. Everybody. Now, before I digress, let's get to part two, or number two, in the goals for Donald Trump's tax plan. Simplify the tax code to reduce the headache Americans face in preparing the damn taxes. Let everyone keep more of their money. Very simple, very easy. Let's go to part three now, huh? Grow the American economy by discouraging corporate inversions and adding a huge number of new jobs and making America globally competitive again. That's right. Bring back some element of manufacturing, some element of production back to America so that our country can start creating jobs and making money on a global market again. We don't sell anything. We don't sell anything globally. The only thing that we sell are the freaking Hollywood movies, and look where all that money's going, for Christ's sake. It's going to California. So once again, we need to start production. You know, we need to start producing goods so that people across the globe actually want something made in America. We need to make made in America mean something again. Now, what is he talking about? Discouraging corporate inversions. You know, people hear this, corporate inversions. What the hell do they mean? Well, let me explain something that's happening to American companies, folks. They are actually leaving the country. They are leaving the country so that they can be taxed at a lower rate in that country because that country taxes their corporations at a lower rate. Moreover, those corporations at this point in time are making more money outside of the United States than they are in the United States. So as a result, we're having American companies based on the tax system currently at hand. We're having American companies leaving America for tax reasons. All right? And that's what Donald Trump is trying to prohibit. All right? That's what Donald Trump is trying to stop as it relates to his tax plan, as it relates to corporations leaving offshore and ditching America for emerging markets and other international markets. All right? Number 4, doesn't add to our debt and deficit, which is already too large. Now, what he's suggesting is that these goals are not going to add to the debt or the deficit because they're already too large. Donald Trump understands the deficit is a major problem as it relates to our economic stability. That's why when he suggested that he would refinance some of the debt, these idiots in the mainstream media again tried to spread a slanderous lie suggesting that Donald Trump wanted to default to bondholders, for Christ's sake, and try to renegotiate it like it's a freaking credit card or something. That's not what he suggested. That's what I'm talking about. This mainstream boob tube media is freaking liars. They're all liars. That's why I turn off the TV as it relates to your news gathering. It's all right here on the internet, folks, all right? Learn the truth. I mean, you've got every information news tool at your fingertips. All you got to do is look for it and scour for it. But once again, they tried to allude to the fact that this guy, Donald Trump, wanted to, what, default on the debt and, what, renegotiate with the bondholders? That's freaking ridiculous. He never said that. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. What he's suggesting is that he's refinance some, if not most, of the current debt. And by doing that, he's going to be able to, as president, and I'm sure utilizing his sphere of economic influence, to be able to gather new investors that will hold these bonds, all right, and that are willing to agree to the long-term lower interest rate terms of the new bondholder agreement or the new bond that will be issued once they're refinanced. Now, I know that's very complicated for people to understand, but I want you people to know that the whole reason why there's a deficit, all right, People ask, well, what the hell's the deficit? Who cares? I mean, why don't you just stop paying on it, dude? Bruh, all right? I hate to use a euphemism of the ghetto-fied internet culture of America, but you can't do that, all right? First and foremost, the people that own America's debt are those that own American bonds, morons, all right? You know, those bonds that are like 10-year, 20-year, 30-year bonds, you know, there's all kinds of incremental bonds. What these investors are doing, okay, they buy these bonds, all right, which is basically American debt at this point in time. And if they hold those bonds for whatever the bond time limit says, whether it's 10, 20, 30 years, whatever the hell it is, if they hold it to maturity, they get to collect 100% on their dollar, like 100 pennies to every dollar. All right? And depending on the interest rates at the time, you know, I don't want to get into the whole bond instrument thing, but anyway, let's get back to what we were talking about, all right? If they hold it to maturity, they get to cash out on that bond 100 cents on every $1, all right? Moreover, that money that they collect after it's matured is not taxable, all right? That's what makes bonds such an attractive, even though it's a bearish and a very long-term, what seems to be like a very small nil interest rate as it relates to the bond itself. Once it's cashed out, you don't have to pay taxes on it. It's one of the safety nets as it relates to, well, it used to be, I wouldn't say it is anymore, but the safety nets to investing. Now, if we were to say, hey, we don't want to pay the debt anymore, screw it, you'd have a lot of people holding these bonds that are going to be pissed off and that are going to want compensation and payment, all right? And you see, that's exactly what happened in Greece back in the day, and it's happening again, folks. As a matter of fact, I mean, they got refinanced. People were able to pour money to keep Greece afloat. Same goddamn thing's happening because their socialism cannot sustain itself. Socialism cannot sustain itself. Socialism cannot sustain itself. So they'll be holding the bonds, and they're going to be expected payment, and that's what these idiots in the media were trying to suggest that Donald Trump wanted to do. I'm going to explain to you what Donald Trump is alluding to, all right? And this is just one option, by the way. He's alluding to the fact of gathering enough investors in his sphere of influence, or possibly even going on a diplomatic tour to solicit other countries to, you know, purchase this debt of ours or these bonds of ours in large quantities for a lower interest rate for a longer period of time. So if you extend the period of time for which a bond matures, if you lower the interest rate a little bit, it'll actually increase the amount of compound interest gain by the investor if they hold it to maturity. But in the short term, it will allow America not to pay as much interest on the debt so that we can start paying on the principal of the deficit. Now, I know it's very complicated financial terms, folks, but that's exactly what Donald Trump is talking about. Because currently, right now, our taxes, the accumulated taxes in America, cannot even pay off the interest on our debt. Do you understand that? It can't even pay off the interest to our debt. Can't even pay it off. So that's why Donald Trump is alluding to the fact that he's going to find people that are going to refinance some, if not most, of the debt. And what he's going to do to the current bondholders is negotiate with them to cash out their bonds, all right? And look, he's going to have to negotiate with them so that it looks lucrative. For instance, let's say somebody's holding a 30-year bond, right? They've held it for, 5-10 years. All right? Donald Trump comes in and says, hey, look, if for all the 30-year bondholders, everybody who wants to cash out, I'll pay you 20 years. I'll pay you 20 years maturity as opposed to the 30 years maturity if you cash out now if you've held the 30-year bond for over 10 years. And, of course, you're going to have a lot of investors saying, that's not too bad. I think I'm going to go ahead and do it. And a lot of people are going to be running to that. I mean, if they're holding a 30-year treasury note, 30-year bond, and Donald Trump says, hey, we'll pay you 18, 20 years on a 30-year note if you've held it for over 10 years. I mean, that's pretty lucrative. And not to mention, if they cash out those bonds, it'll be tax-free money, or non-taxable money, I should say, non-taxable money. So it'll be very lucrative for bondholders that are holding bonds to be able to cash out. That's what Donald Trump is talking about. All right, I know that it's a very complicated financial system, but that's what the mainstream media tries to take advantage of as it relates to delivering you information. All right, I'm serious. They're trying to suggest things to your perspective that are not true. So once again, as I've outlined, that seems like a very reasonable way to try to, pay down this debt. I mean, look, he may extend these notes 40 years, 50 years, which it sounds like unheard of. But at the same time, folks, if you can have big-time rich billionaires, countries, even the American people themselves, I think that Donald Trump should, if not, I already think he's already thinking this in his head, to appeal to the American people to purchase bonds. You understand? So that they can own a part of the government. Do you understand that? Just imagine, all right? Our deficit, the whole reason why our government bows down to whatever in the hell policies that they're creating is because the people that own our debt are all foreign interests, all right? I mean, China, Saudi Arabia, England, Russia. I think Russia sold off our debt, if I'm not mistaken. But you understand, I mean, this is what I'm talking about. And that's why I'm saying, this is why I didn't mean to get off on the soliloquy about how Trump is going to refinance the debt, but it needs to be repeated because this damn mainstream media is making people believe that freaking Donald Trump is going to renegotiate the debt like a freaking bad credit card or something. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I mean, first and foremost, folks, the whole reason why you as a consumer can negotiate with your credit card or negotiate new terms, that whole debt settlement nonsense is because, folks, first of all, that's unsecured debt, all right? That means these idiots took a chance on you. They ran you through whatever the hell kind of, credit score system. They gave you a credit card. That's why it's so easy to get a goddamn credit card. It's unsecured debt, all right? Now, by the time you are in a financial situation where you find yourself, you can no longer, God forbid, you can no longer pay your credit cards, well, that's why you can go and resettle what the actual principle of the matter is. And the principle, folks, is what you actually owe. The interest is what they throw on top of the principle for them lending you the principal to begin with, all right? But you see, this is why you can renegotiate, folks, because by the time that you're in a situation where you can no longer pay for your credit cards, you've already probably put in 3 or 4 times the actual principal in interest, all right? I mean, they already made, tons of money on you, depending on how long you paid on your credit card and depending how much you owe, depending on the interest, so on and so forth. And that's why, you've got these debt settlement concepts that are out here, which you can do yourself, by the way, folks. I mean, you don't have to go to one of these debt settlement companies. You can negotiate yourself, which is something that they never tell you, all right? But I want to reassure you that that's why you can do this, all right? Because you have to at least settle. You have to pay something. You can't just say, screw it. You got to pay something. All right, but you can't do that with the freaking debt. I mean, the debt is secured debt. I mean, the secured debt means that somebody put up the money to lend you, all right? Now, legitimate money, not credit, all right? That means something similar to a house loan, something similar to a car loan. That's why whenever you cannot pay on your car or on your house, they take the damn thing away from you because the bank utilized what you purchased as collateral to lend you the goddamn money, all right? Meaning that if you buy a new car, all right, the bank's like, okay, it's a new car, it looks nice, it's right off the lot. We'll go ahead and lend you the 40 grand or 50 grand, whatever the hell the damn new car costs. All right, no problem. After about 4 or 5 months, 6 months, a year, whatever the crap might be, you lose your job, you can't pay on it anymore. That's why they go and take the son of a bitch, because they've already gotten your money plus a little bit of interest. They're going to sell it off to an auction, or a lot of these banks, believe it or not, have small little car lots that they sell it off on. And believe it or not, I mean, this is how it works. This is how the bank works. All right, that's secured debt. Credit cards, unsecured debt. All right? Loans where you have to sign your name on a dotted line, where they have to freaking crawl up your ass with a freaking microscope before they give you a goddamn loan, that's secured debt, all right? Now, I'm getting off keister here. I'm sorry. I want to continue on with the Trump tax plan, all right? Now, I want to talk about the Trump tax plan achieves these goals, all right? Now, I'm going to try to skim through these here. Number one, if you are single and earn less than $25,000 a year, or married and jointly earn less than $50,000 a year, you will not owe any income tax. All right, let me repeat that again. If you're single and earn less than $25,000 a year, or married and jointly earn less than $50,000 a year, you will not owe any income tax. That removes nearly 75 million households, over 50% from the income tax rolls, all right? I mean, give me a freaking break. I mean, it's cutting almost over 50%. It's over 50%. 75 million households automatically off the tax rolls. I mean, give me a freaking break. And these are working families, folks. These aren't these idiots that are sucking off the government goddamn teat out here. These are working families he's talking about. Number two, all other Americans will get a simpler tax code with 4 tax brackets: 0%, 10%, 20%, and 25%, instead of the current 7 tax brackets we have now. This new tax code eliminates the marriage penalty and the alternative minimum tax, while providing the lowest tax rate since before World War II. Oh, man, doesn't that sound great? Oh, my God, that sounds capitalist, baby. It's what it sounds like, baby. Woo! And not to mention the marriage penalty, folks. For you folks that are unaware, believe it or not, you can actually have a penalty, okay, if you and your spouse make about the same amount of money, all right? If you and your spouse make about the same amount of money, you could be penalized by the IRS up to 12%. 12 goddamn percent. Yeah, welcome to America. Huh? That's what you get for getting married. Now you wonder why there's so many goddamn divorces out here? Jesus Christ, on top of the fact that, you've got all these entitlements that encourage baby making, for Christ's sake, turning baby making into big business, for Christ's sake. It's ridiculous. All right? Now let's move on. Number 3, no business of any size, from a Fortune 500 company to a mom and pop shop to a freelancer living from job to job, will pay more than 15%, 15% of their business income in taxes. Doesn't that sound beautiful? I mean, good God, 15% on a business tax, baby? Oh, my God. And I'm assuming that includes corporations and all brands of corporations, all variants of corporations, sole proprietors, and once again, independent freelancers. Unfreaking believable. 15% business tax. I mean, come on. You couldn't get any better. You couldn't get any better than this. All right? I mean, this is capitalism at its finest. 15% business tax. 15%. I mean, folks, let me tell you something. Currently, right now, it's at about 25%. All right? 25%. And let me tell you, if you try to write off on that 25%, you better be reading that goddamn tax code with a freaking magnifying glass. Because I'm telling you this right now, there are things that can get you into some serious trouble if you try to write off certain aspects of that current 25% business tax. I mean, I'm not joking. There's a lot of auditing going on, And that's why, as it relates to Donald Trump and his tax returns, I don't blame the man for not releasing his damn tax returns. I mean, this is his personal income tax, all right? His personal income tax. I mean, he's getting audited, all right? He gets audited all the time. I'm sure he does, for Christ's sake. I'm sure he gets audited all the time because I'm sure he pays an army of tax lawyers and accountants to scour through the whole damn tax code to make sure to squeeze every goddamn percentage off that 25% tax rate he can to make sure that he doesn't pay any taxes or as low as taxes as possible. That's all there is to it. And not to mention, all right, this lower tax rate, the 15% tax rate, makes corporate inversions unnecessary by making America's tax rate one of the best in the world. I mean, true innovation, true capitalism right here. I'm excited. Let's go to number 4, all right? No family will have to pay the death tax. Oh, I don't know if he's going to get this one passed, to be honest with you. I think this is a negotiating chip. I mean, this is going to be hard for these liberals that are in the Congress for them to swallow. I mean, they cream over the freaking death tax. You know what I mean? The inheritance tax, meaning that, you know, mommy and daddy, you had a mommy and daddy that loved you and they were earners, for Christ's sake. They leave you something. I mean, what's the freaking rate right now? Like 60% or something like that? I haven't inherited a goddamn thing. I haven't inherited a goddamn thing. So, I mean, I think it's 60%, if I'm not mistaken. All right? He's talking about just completely, just eliminate it. Why you got to pay taxes? It says here, you earned and saved that money for your family, not the government. You pay taxes on it when you earned it. I mean, no kidding, man. I never understood that. I mean, you pay taxes on it when you earn the son of a bitch. And, you know, what if I want to leave what I've got to my children and their children? I mean, what, the 60%? 60 goddamn percent? It's ridiculous. But I do believe that he's going to have to negotiate. I don't think he's going to be able to take off the death tax. It may come down a little bit. May come down to 30%, may come down to 25%. Once again, this is one of those negotiating tokens, in my opinion. I mean, I think this is pretty bold. The damn liberals will not vote on this. I mean, the liberals believe that dead rich people are the perfect candidates to tax. I mean, that's what they believe. They honestly believe that. I mean, they're just sick. Sick, for Christ's sake. Now, the tax plan, Trump tax plan is revenue neutral, all right? The Trump tax cuts are fully paid for by, all right? And let's list how they're going to pay for this, all right? Reducing or eliminating most deductions and loopholes available to only the very rich. Yeah, that's right. Like GE, what was it a few years back? 0 taxes, for Christ's sake, even after we bailed those assholes out. I mean, it's ridiculous, all right? Number 2, a one-time deemed reparation of corporate cash held overseas at a significantly discounted 10% tax rate, followed by an end to the deferral of taxes on corporate income earned abroad. Now, I know this is a very complicated explanation, but this goes to show or explain what I was discussing for the past several shows. There's over an estimated $1.5 trillion sitting offshore that has been made in other foreign markets by American-based companies. And the only reason they don't bring that money back into America is because they'll have to pay a high tax to bring it in, this son of a bitch. All right? I'm serious. I'm not joking. I'm not kidding around. I mean, there's $1.5 trillion, and let me tell you, you know, a lot of these American companies are making this money in other markets in the international community. So that means that they have to pay the tax of that country of origin, all right? I mean, let's say they sell something in England. They've got to pay England's tax. They make something and sell it in Ireland. They got to pay Ireland's tax. All right, and then thereafter, they have a profit, and that profit's just going to sit there offshore because our goddamn government wants to tax the hell out of it just to bring it back into the country? It's ridiculous. So Trump is talking about 10%, all right, 10% to bring that son of a bitch back in here. All right, and look, that's an estimated $1.5 trillion. I think it's a little more than that as time goes by. But just imagine 10% of 1.5 trillion, 5 trillion, 1.75 trillion. I mean, that's serious money. And of course, that's going to pay for the tax cuts. All right, and that's what he's talking about. All right, and moreover, he's talking about the end of deferral taxes on corporate income earned abroad, meaning deferring their tax income for a rainy day, kind of thing. Anyway, let me move on because I don't want to confuse too many people on this. I want to get to the crux of the matter and then move on to Twitter shoutouts. Number 3 on how the Trump tax cuts are fully paid: reducing or eliminating corporate loopholes that cater to special interests, as well as deductions made unnecessary or redundant by the new lower tax rate on corporations and business income. We will also phase in reasonable cap on deductibility of business interest expenses. You understand? All right, baby. I'm going to start being able to deduct some freaking interest expenses on my freaking business capital out here. That's what I'm talking about, baby. And not to mention, we need to reduce these corporate loopholes for these special interests, like the special companies that don't have to, by law, unlike everybody else who owns a business in this country, have to pay Obamacare for their full-time employees. I'm serious. Look it up. There's I don't know how many companies, over a dozen companies, that do not have to oblige Obamacare. They do not have to pay for health insurance for their full-time employees because there's a special written law just for these corporations. Why? Well, you guessed it, all right? Campaign contribution accounts. That's all I got to say, all right? That's all I got to say. Anyway, you get the crux of it. I want to discuss the tax rates, and then we're going to move on to the Twitter shout-outs. Okay, if you're a single filer and you make $0 to $25,000 a year, zero taxes. Also, you don't have to pay any taxes on any long-term capital gains / dividends rate. All right, so if you happen to, be making $25,000 or less the year, and you happen to be value investing on some blue chip stocks that give you some goddamn, some dividends, you don't have to pay any interest on that son of a bitch, baby. I mean, this is great. All right, now, let's say this goes to the married filers. All right, married filers, all right, 0 to 50,000. You pay 0% income tax rate, 0% long-term capital gains and dividends rates. All right, now, heads of households, these are people that are the sole breadwinners of their households. They from $0 to $37,500 a year. You pay 0% income tax and 0% long-term capital gains and dividends rates. Excuse me. All right, now let's move to the 10% income bracket. Now, you will pay 10% if you're a single filer that makes $25,001 to $50,000 a year. All right, 10%. I mean, that means a single filer. That means, goes to you homosexuals out there that I see that are the waiters, that are the hair cutters, that are doing a lot of the working out here. All right, that means that you can make up to $50,000 and only have to pay 10%. I know for a fact that single people that have no children that are making $50,000, $45,000, you guys are paying 35+%. For Christ's sake, it's ridiculous. It's pathetic. But once again, single gentlemen, single ladies, if you're making $25,001 to $50,000 a year, 10% income tax rate, and guess what? 0% on long-term capital gains and dividends rate, baby. Woo! I mean, that's capitalism, baby. I mean, good God. That means that if you got a blue chip stock that you're value investing and you collect a goddamn dividend, I mean, 0% if you're a single filer that makes under $50,000 a year. That's unbelievable. Married filers in the 10% tax bracket, anyone making over $50,000 a year to $100,000 a year. I mean, how does that sound for you folks that are married out here? I mean, you folks that are married filers can make $100,000 a year, 10% income tax rate, 0% long-term capital gains and dividends rate, baby. I mean, come on, baby. I mean, this is capitalism here. Let's go to the heads of household, the folks that are, the sole breadwinners of their families, all right? They can make anywhere from over $37,000 to $75,000 a year and be taxed at 10% personal income tax and 0% long-term capital gains and dividends rate, baby. I mean, good God. Good God, baby, that's capitalism. Let's move it going, because I want to get to the last two tax brackets and then do some Twitter shout-outs here. Now, for the 20% tax bracket, all right, single filers, if you're making over $50,000 a year to $150,000 a year, all right, $50,000 to $150,000 a year, you pay 20% income tax rate, and you're going to have to pay 15% of your long-term capital gains and your dividends rate, all right? And let me tell you, that's pretty serious money. I mean, don't they consider, the freaking 1% now, 150,000 or 200,000 like that? I mean, Jesus Christ, what a rate, all right? Married filers, all right? You can make over $100,000 to $300,000 a year and be taxed at the 20% income tax rate, and your long-term capital gains and dividends rate is at 15%. Heads of households, all right, the sole breadwinners, you can make over $75,000 a year to $225,000 a year and still only have to pay 20% personal income and 15% long-term capital gains. Last but not least, now this is what Donald Trump was talking about as it relates to Chuck Todd's little doublespeak, that he's willing to negotiate on this particular rate right here for those that make over $150,000 a year as single filers, $300,000 a year as married filers, and over $225,000 a year as heads of household. Those rates are at 25% under Donald Trump's current plan. Now, he is willing to negotiate, and of course the long-term cap gains and dividends rate is 20% for those folks as well. Now, Donald Trump said he is willing to negotiate, all right, willing to negotiate an increase in that tax bracket alone, okay, based on his plan, based on the Trump plan, not based on the current rates that are around today, all right, you freaking dumb seat sniffers. Jesus Christ, you stupid mainstream media, you make me sick. All right, that's based on the Trump plan, the 25% rate for single filers that are making over $150,000, married filers that are making over $300,000 a year, and heads of household that are making over $225,000 a year. He's willing to negotiate with Congress if they're willing to basically pass the crux of this tax plan. He's willing to negotiate on that one alone, for Christ's sake, all right? I also think he's willing to negotiate on the death tax, all right? I mean, look, I personally believe that this is a great tax plan, and the only thing that they need to add on to it, in my personal opinion, is completely eliminating that $25,000 brokerage account law that prohibits individuals from day trading or partaking in short-term trading so that they can gain some liquidity with whatever means that they have at their disposal. I mean, I don't understand why you need $25,000 to participate in more than 5 trades a week. All right? It's ridiculous. It's pathetic. It's stupid. All right? I know for a fact that if people had the opportunity to take their $500 or their $1,000, whatever they're able to scrape together, whatever their means are, they could just sit back, read, research, look at numbers, look at news, for Christ's sake, and actually make some liquidity in this market. I don't understand why they can't do it. I think that Trump needs to recognize this, and he needs to take this law away so that individual investors, independent investors, can invest their own money and they can partake in gaining all that liquidity that all these damn fund managers are getting after. How come the individual worker, how come the individual taxpayer, how come the individual capitalist can't partake in that? And that's what I hope that Trump heeds, and I hope that he listens, and I hope that he does listen to that. We need that $25,000 brokerage account prerequisite to day trade completely wiped out. We need it completely wiped out. Anyway, folks, I'm going to go ahead and partake in some Twitter shout-outs right now, and if you want a Twitter shout-out live on the broadcast, all you have to do is retweet the first tweet on my Twitter account, not the pinned tweet, the one that says True Capitalist Radio Now Live. True Capitalist Radio Now Live. If you retweet that first tweet on my Twitter account, and of course my Twitter account is Politics Ghost, I will go ahead and give you a shout-out live right here on the broadcast right now. All right, do we have any Twitter shout-outs, engineer? All right, folks, let's go ahead and get to the Twitter shout-outs right now. We've got Fidget My Midget. Oh, Jesus Christ. We've got Barbecue Fort Mac. Oh, man, leave those Canadian bacon bastards alone already. Leave them alone. CDI Fan 237. Official Hood Rats. Okay. Based Loler, the Green Bio, Templeton Stew. You son of a bitch. Leave my dog alone. Ghost is stone cold. No, let me tell you something, man. Stone Cold wishes he was me. I'll tell you that right goddamn now, boy. I'm not saying these disgusting names. Ghostuck Todd. Ghostuck Todd. Oh, that's really funny. You're trying to compare me to that stupid football Chuck Todd. Screw you. You pickled prick. Screw you. Anyway, Lone Star Drowned. Oh, Jesus. Submarines for Ghost. Let me tell you something, you scumbags. All right? We are under another threat out here in Austin, Texas. And as a matter of fact, the majority of the South Texas region out here is under threat of more rain, for Christ's sake. And not to mention more hail. More hail? I mean, good God, I've never seen so much goddamn hell in my life, man. I'm sick of it already. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the rain. I'm sick of the hail. I'm sick of the high winds. I'm sick of the tornado warnings. I'm sick of the floods. I'm sick of it all. Stop it, Harp. Just stop it. Stop it now. We don't need any more rain, for Christ's sake. We don't need any more rain in Texas. Enough. Jesus Christ. Anyway, we got Kilted Capitalist in the house. Once again, if you want a Twitter shout-out right here, right now, live on the True Capitalist Radio Show, you just have to retweet the first tweet on my Twitter account, folks. All right, and the tweet that says True Capitalist Radio Now Live, baby. That's the one you need to retweet to get a shout-out right here, right now on the True Capitalist Radio Show. We've got Poop Feast. Jesus Christ. Oh, my God. I'm not... Sniff my seat, bro. Jesus Christ, you sick pricks. I mean, how long does it take you idiots to make a goddamn Twitter troll account, for Christ's sake, man? You idiots you're just shitting them out, man. I mean, for a lack of a better goddamn term, for Christ's sake, you're just crapping them out. Anyway, we've got Artron Havoc in the house. I'm not saying that, Dennis Ghoster, you son of a bitch. Shove it up your ass, all right, all you people. Anyway, we've got Bubble Box. Jesus Christ. Choco Latte in the house. We've got Robot Rock 1, all right. Melting Pot of Friendship. Yeah, son of a bitch. All right, look, let me tell you something, you scumbags, all right? I'm sick and tired of these goddamn trolls already, all right? Freaking people are pissing me off. You're pissing me off! You're pissing me off, you sons of bitches. Anyway, let's take a couple more Twitter shout-outs. What's up, Z Kai in the house? We've got Bacon Canadian. Bacon Canadian. You sorry sacks of soulless crap. Good God. Oh, yeah, Poseidon versus 6th Street. Look, that's not funny, assholes. These tragedies, these natural disasters, these things that are happening are not funny. It's not comical. It's not cute. Texas liquid assets. Jeez, get this crap out of here. That's not funny, assholes. That's not funny. I mean, do you even have a goddamn soul, you stupid internet troll terrorist? You cyber vermin! Good God! Jesus Christ! Give me a goddamn break. Give me a break. Give me a break. Give me a break. Give me the mic. Give me the goddamn mic. Give me a goddamn mic, for Christ's sake. Look, assholes, all right? Enough of the goddamn rain jokes, enough of the flood jokes, enough of the freaking liquid assets jokes, enough of that crap. What's happening here in Texas is serious business, all right? We got some sort of a HARP situation where they're just dumping all kinds of rain on us, for Christ's sake, because I don't know why. I don't know why. Weather warfare, I don't know why, but I'm sick of it, and I want it to stop. I'm serious, man. There's all kinds of goddamn hail. I've never seen so much hail in my life. I've never seen so much hail in my life. I mean, it was hail and apples, for Christ's sake. It was hail and apples, for Christ's sake. Jesus Christ. Oh, jeez. I'm only going to do a couple of more of these Twitter shout-outs, and that's it, because you people are ruining this broadcast for me, for Christ's sake. And I'm hyped, man. I mean, the Trump train is steaming full steam ahead. This goddamn mainstream media is trying to character assassinate Trump, and it ain't happening. It ain't working. It ain't working. Anyway, we got Sarcastic Smash in the house. No towels for Texas. Jesus Christ. Screw you, asshole. Texas drowning in debt. Texas drowning. Jesus Christ. Scumbag, son of a bitch. I can't believe you people! I can't believe you people! Just stop it! You understand? This is serious business! It's flooding in Texas! It's raining apples! It's hailing apples! Just stop it! Just stop! Stop it! Good God! Jesus Christ. This is the internet for you, folks. This is the internet! Jesus Christ. This is the internet. Oh, my God. I don't even know. What am I doing here, for Christ's sake? What am I doing here and broadcasting to you ungrateful pricks? What am I doing here, for Christ's sake? What am I even doing here broadcasting to you ungrateful jerk dicks, man? I'm telling you, just... give me the mic. Give me the mic. Give me that freaking mic, for Christ's sake. That's it. I've had enough. I've had enough. Get the goddamn Twitter shout-outs off my screen, engineer. Get them off. Jesus Christ. I'm telling you, I need a drink. Where's my drink? Give me my drink, for Christ's sake. Good God, man. I can't believe you sons of bitches, for Christ. I can't believe you heartless scumbags. Let me take a sip of this, for Christ's sake. I'm sorry, man. I mean, you gotta let loose somehow. I mean, you listening to this? Are you hearing this? Oh, my God. Let me take a drink here. Oh. You know, it doesn't matter how mad I get. I'm telling you, when I drink some of that nice blended malt, Johnny Walker Blue Label, oh yeah, it just puts you in a better mood. I don't know what to say. It puts me in a better mood, for Christ's sake. Anyway, folks, let's move on with the broadcast because I think we're running out of time here. And I've gone on and on about the Trump tax plan, but I thought it was necessary to discuss because you have a lot of assholes out here trying to spread slanderous lies about Donald Trump, and we're not going to have it, all right? Now, who's going to be Donald Trump's vice president? I mean, that is the question, isn't it? Who's going to be Donald Trump's vice president? Now, look, I am starting to lean towards the fact that Newt Gingrich is probably the high on the list as the probability of he being the vice president for Donald Trump. Now, I've never been a big fan of Gingrich, to be completely honest with you, but the only reason that I think that this would be a decent choosing of a vice presidential candidate is because this man, Newt Gingrich, he represents a conservatism from the 90s that's no longer represented within the Republican Party. Moreover, it'll basically allow some of these staunch conservatives on the Never Trump side to be nullified if they have a conservative like Newt Gingrich on the ticket. Now, lest we forget, this man was the Speaker of the House during the 1990s. He was able to negotiate with Bill Clinton, believe it or not. I mean, and of course, Bill Clinton likes to take credit for this, but it was actually Newt Gingrich and the Republicans that initiated this. And of course, it's being criticized by Black Lives Matter right now. That's the reason why they're protesting Bill Clinton's speech stumping for Hillary Rodham, is because it was welfare to workfare, I believe it was called. Meaning that, yeah, okay, we'll give you some welfare, we'll give you some food stamps, but we're only going to give it to you for a limited amount of time till your ass goes out and gets a goddamn job, all right? And because of that particular law, folks, all right, that's why you had such low welfare doles, such low food stamp doles. I mean, less people dependent on the government because they couldn't do it. I mean, Newt Gingrich was able to negotiate with this liberal Bill Clinton to initiate that particular entitlement cutting, and I thought it was great. All right, I thought it was excellent. And I believe now that Newt Gingrich has been out of the game for a long period of time, remember, this man is no longer a part of the establishment. He was the establishment in the 90s. He is no longer a part of it. I think that by bringing him in as his vice presidential candidate, he can utilize his knowledge of the bureaucratic system to be able to push forth these initiatives that Donald Trump has put forth in his campaign to become a reality. All right? I mean, do you understand? I mean, this Newt Gingrich, he was the Speaker of the House. He understands the political system. He understands the Washington, D.C. game, that whole disgusting social network out there in D.C., So, I mean, I don't think it's a horrible choosing if he decides Newt Gingrich. Now, other names are coming about. Of course, Chris Christie, although I think Chris Christie wants top cop. He wants to be the Attorney General. And moreover, that Bridgegate situation is far from over. So I think that would be the last thing Donald Trump would want to put on his campaign as it relates to a vice presidential candidate. Marco Rubio was allegedly, being thrown out there, but according to one of Donald Trump's tweets, he's not even being considered. So Marco Rubio, maybe not. And did y'all hear Ben Carson allude to the fact that Sarah Palin is on the list? Now, I hope that's just freaking, Ben Carson and his evangelical kooksterness, playing wishful thinking. Because, man, I'll tell you right now, that would severely turn me off. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not joking around. I mean, Sarah Palin, if you look back in the goddamn archives when I broadcasted as True Conservative Radio, and you can look back in those archives at blogtalkradio.com/ghost. That's blogtalkradio.com/ghost. If you look back in those archives, I said that the 2008 presidential campaign for the Republican Party, that 2008 that convention, that Republican convention, was a coronation of the liberals taking complete and total control of the Republican Party. Do you understand that? I mean, you can look back in that archive. I said it, boy. I said it was a complete and total control of the liberals complete and total control of the Republican Party by the liberals, for Christ's sake. And to prove it, John Turncoat McCain was the goddamn nominee, and he chose Sarah Eskimo Bimbo Palin, all right? And the reason I am so against Palin, folks, is because this dumb skankosaurus Eskimo Bimbo bitch, excuse me, I don't like the woman. This woman has redefined what conservatism is. She's redefined what the evangelical movement is. And to be honest with you, I mean, they weren't the brightest people to begin with. I mean, with all due respect. But because Sarah Palin's arrival on the national political scene, for Christ's sake, has come about, they've turned even into more idiotic, stupid people, in my personal opinion, all right? I mean, I remember conservatism used to mean something, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we used to shun teen pregnancy, for Christ's sake, and having kids out of wedlock, you know, and all this ridiculous activity that was embraced in the 2008 Republican convention. It was embraced. Remember Bristol? I remember Bristol. Oh, look, she's pregnant. Oh, it's so adorable. Everything's great. When I saw that on the Republican convention, when I saw that being displayed, I knew that was the death of conservatism. I knew that it was a complete and total control of the liberal regime taking control of the GOP. So let me tell you something right now, Donald Trump, if you are listening, please do not even consider Sarah Eskimo Bimbo Palin, not just because of me, all right? Nobody even considers this broad outside of the small evangelical, ridiculous, idiot base, with all due respect. These are the only people that admire this skankosaurus. I mean, and another reason why I don't like her, folks, is because she is the reason. She is a poster child of why women are the way they are at this point in time. They think they can just, you know, give a wink, shake their ass or something, and they think that they can somehow absolve themselves of actually knowing the substance of their freaking job at hand. You understand? I mean, this woman was an imbecile. How the hell did she work her way up all the way to governor in Alaska? Huh? I mean, do you think if this broad looked like goddamn Kagan from the freaking Supreme Court, do you think that she would have been able to do that? Hell no. Kagan had to manipulate her ass out there in the court system, in the legal system, for her to do anything, for Christ's sake. So anyway, look, I didn't mean to go off keister there, but God damn it, Donald Trump, don't think about it. Don't you even think about Sarah Palin. Good God. I don't want to do that. I can't do it. I can't do it. So look, I don't even want to entertain that as a possibility. I'm just going to think that it's freaking Ben Carson going off keister, and, you know, he's a little evangelical kookster himself. I'm hoping that's the case because, God damn it, not Sarah Palin. Not Sarah Palin. Please, Trump. Please, not Sarah Palin. Please. Good God. I'd accept Ted Cruz, and believe it or not, I'd accept slimebag lying Ted Cruz before I'd accept a Sarah Eskimo Bimbo Palin. I'm sorry. I'd screw Sarah Palin. I will never like that woman. I think that she's a complete idiot. She ruined the conservative movement. She ruined the Republican Party. She practically got Obama elected in 2008 because of her goddamn stupidity. No Sarah Palin for vice president. You understand that? Spread that around the internet, for Christ's sake. No Sarah Palin for vice president. None. And if she wants a cabinet position or something, give her something so insignificant no one's even going to care, all right? You know, like the czar of looking at Russia from a freaking from a part of Alaska or something. It's some crap. I mean, just get her out of here. I'm tired of her. And look, I'm not naive to the fact that this broad has influence with these stupid ass evangelicals. All right, but it's ridiculous. All right, you evangelicals need to wake up. This is a freaking feminist right here. This is a woman who is utilizing sexuality to progress her goddamn career, and I'm against that crap. And every woman should be against that crap. But nope, of course. If it obliges their political philosophy, it doesn't matter. I mean, she is no different than those that are doing the same goddamn thing in the left. I'm telling you, that's enough. That's enough. I'm running out of time here, folks. I'm sorry. We may have to get to some of these subject matters in the post-show edition of the True Capitalist Radio Show, folks. And, of course, that happens on the third hour, which isn't broadcasted live, and the only way you can view or listen to that is if you call us up on the phone, 516-453-9903, and listen to it live, or listen to it as soon as we're done in the archive at blogtalkradio.com/ghost. Anyway, folks, I don't even want to talk about VPs now anymore, for Christ's sake. I mean, I don't like Sarah Palin, man. I don't like this bimbo. I don't like her. I'm sorry, I don't like her. All right? I'm sorry, I don't like it. I don't like it. Anyway, let me move on to the next subject matters, for Christ's sake. Did you hear about the anti-Trump conservatives who are going to go meet with Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg after this, this news came out that they were suppressing right-wing news? Now, why in the hell would never Trump and anti-Trump conservatives be visiting Mark Zuckerberg? I mean, what, were they going to negotiate a deal to suppress Trump news and the Trump supporters and Trump accounts, pro-Trump accounts? I mean, look at these scumbags over here now, all right? Look at these so-called conservatives over here. This is what I'm talking about. Why do you think I no longer call myself a conservative, folks? They're hypocrites, all right? They're hypocrites. I mean, the more conservative that they claim to be, the more perverted, the more substance abusive, the more freaky, kinky, disgusting, filthy they are. I mean, you got Glenn Beck wanting to meet with this freaking dumbass on freaking Zuckerberg from Facebook. I mean, you got all these other anti-Trump, never Trump assholes. What are they planning on doing? What are them and Mark Zuckerberg planning on doing? That's why I don't have a Facebook account, folks. I strongly advise everybody, please, if you do have a Facebook, don't put your personal crap on there, folks. Don't. All right? I mean, make it a fictitious account or something. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. All right? I mean, you people have fallen hook, line, and sinker, uploading your freaking personal videos, uploading your personal pictures, uploading your freaking most intimate thoughts, putting all your goddamn events of your life on a damn timeline like an idiot. And guess who owns that, huh? Old Mark Zuckerberg, You gave it to him, for Christ's sake, like an idiot. All right? I'm serious. I'm sorry. I don't like Facebook. I think it's a piece of trash. I think it's basically the internet for morons, Seriously, I think it's the internet for morons. It's the cesspool of the internet. And if you like Facebook, well, then you're a piece of trash. I think you're stupid. I think you're an ignorant piece of garbage, in my personal opinion. I'm sorry. It's just my opinion. I'm sorry. Freaking anti-conservatives to meet with Zuckerberg. What are they gonna talk about with this phallic fluffer? What in the hell are they gonna talk about with this asshole? Jesus Christ, man, this is getting more and more sick as time goes by, for Christ's sake. It's bad enough that we got to look after the leftists and the Democrats. I mean, we got freaking, Hillary Clinton? I tweeted out a goddamn article, a few days back, that she's paying, $10 million to freaking online trolls, for Christ's sake? Can you believe this crap? Listen to the desperation of these leftists. And on top of having to worry about these assholes, we got to worry about so-called conservatives, too? So-called conservatives, too? You stupid pieces of crap. I'm telling you. Freaking Glenn Beck, man. Anybody who listens to Glenn Beck right now is a freaking left-wing, long-haired, liberal, bedwetting hippie, as far as I'm concerned. All right? I mean, this idiot is pathetic. It's pathetic and sad. And if you're still doing this anti-Trump, never Trump crap, then you go ahead and vote for Hillary Rotten Clinton, you dumbass. We don't want you. We don't need you out here at the Republican Party anymore. You understand this? The capitalists have taken control of the party. The GOP is ours. It belongs to us now. So if you dumbass conservatives and you so-called evangelicals don't like it, then get out. Get the hell out. Go vote for Hillary Rotten Clinton and go elect the devil, you so-called conservatives. Get out. I'm sick of you conservative pieces of crap already. I'm sick of it, man. Oh, look, I'm conservative. Look at me. I'm a conservative. Why? Because you go to church, you dumbass? Huh? Because you donate to somebody else's collection plate? Huh? So you can use that as an act of contrition because you slapped your wife earlier in the week? Huh? Because you beat your kids? Huh? Yeah, I mean, just hypocrisy, man. Freaking hypocrisy. Jesus Christ. freaking hypocrisy, man. Anyway, folks, I want to move on with the subject matters of the show here. Did anybody hear this Vermont college? What was it called? Burlington, I believe it's called. This college in Vermont that was ran by Bernie Sanders' wife, going down the tubes. All right, I'm serious. It's closing because of money trouble. And hey, idiot college kids, this is the consequence of free college right here, huh? Oh yeah, here you got Bernie Sanders, Mr. Socialist. He's got his wife who works in this goddamn higher education nonsense. And look at her. The damn college that she ran is being flushed down the damn proverbial toilet. So I don't want to spend too much time on this subject matter. I just wanted to bring it up because I want you people to understand that are out there listening, that are college kids, that are putting yourself in your own indentured servitude by paying, what is it, $50,000, $60,000 plus college debt, for Christ's sake, to realize that if it was free, this what would happen. I mean, whatever your alma mater was will eventually close down, for Christ's sake, because anything free doesn't work, assholes. And as I've stated time and time again, it's practically free now. I mean, why do you think most college campuses are ghetto America? I mean, it's ghetto degeneracy all over the son of a bitch because of the grant system, free government grants, and all these goddamn scholarships that are available for anybody, for Christ's sake. I mean, you can get a scholarship for having red hair, for Christ's sake. There's so many goddamn scholarships out here. You just gotta look for them. If you can't get them, it's because you're a lazy prick and you don't want to go to college. I'm not saying you should go to college either, folks, to be honest with you. I mean, unless you can have it fully paid for, or unless mommy and daddy gave you a college fund and saved up, do not go to college, all right? Go into the workforce, and if you want to, freshen or sharpen your tools in life, well, then take some part-time classes at a goddamn community college. It's cheaper, and you'll learn more, all right? It's cheaper, and you'll learn more, and you won't be in any goddamn debt, all right? You'll be way ahead of all these idiots that are taking they're getting underwater basket weaving degrees and paying like $50,000, $60,000 for the rest of their life, all right? Don't do that. But once again, Vermont College, was it Burlington, I believe it was? Bernie Sanders' wife, Jane, when she ran it here recently, and now it's closing down because of money trouble. I mean, that's what you get for, that's what you get for obliging socialism. Haven't you noticed a theme here with socialism? It all comes crumbling down. Jesus Christ. Anyway, let's go into some international news. Did you hear about this? The U.S. and the UN, they are agreeing to bring in more arms, more weaponry to the supposed Libyans in Libya to supposedly fight ISIS. Folks, I mean, if you believe that this arms move in Libya is anything else other than to arm ISIS itself, you're an imbecile, all right? I mean, I was against the overthrowing of Muammar Gaddafi. I was broadcasting at that time. You can listen to my broadcast. I said that I don't see any reason why the United States and NATO are doing this. I had no idea. It made no geopolitical sense at the time. It still doesn't make any geopolitical sense. And let me tell you, the media is covering that the United States, the UN, are going to arm and import all kinds of artillery weapons into Libya to supposedly arm the, I guess, good rebels. Wink, wink. What a bunch of crap, man. Do you remember right after Gaddafi was overthrown, they threw up the Al-Qaeda flag in the Capitol? Y'all remember that? I mean, as a matter of fact, that YouTube video's still up on there, for Christ's sake. Right after they overthrew Muammar Gaddafi, they raised the Al-Qaeda flag in freaking Libya. And now what, we're going to throw more arms out there, folks? Do you know these international bureaucratic institutionalists are purposely doing this, folks? I mean, just take a look at what's happening. They are purposely doing this crap, and I don't appreciate it one goddamn bit. All right? Because it's bad enough. The arms that, and look, you can go do a damn search on YouTube, folks. Our military, before we even put these supposed fake bombings on ISIS, when the Pentagon shows us these bombings of oil trucks and oil facilities supposedly belonging to ISIS, that before they bomb, they actually go out and throw leaflets telling these people in their native tongue to get the hell out of there, to don't be by any trucks, that they're going to bomb the place, so on and so forth. I mean, if this is supposed to be our enemy, for Christ's sake, why in the hell are we doing this? I'm telling you folks better start becoming very aware of what's going on and what these international bureaucrats, and there's many of them within our own government, what they are doing. They are trying to destabilize the world, in my personal opinion. They're first starting off with Europe. They're trying to bring that garbage over here in the United States. They are trying to destabilize the world to legitimize their totalitarianism. They are trying to legitimize bureaucratic institutional totalitarianism, and it's disgusting. And I think that everybody needs to take their heads out of their ass and realize what's going on. And this is why, I hate to keep reiterating this is why Donald Trump's candidacy is so goddamn important. It is the last line in the sand. I mean, he has already put forth in his foreign policy that he will not oblige these international bureaucratic institutions. He will not sign away American sovereignty. He will not give any authority of the over the United States to any international bureaucracy. I mean, this goes against all the policies that have been put forth for the past 30 years. For the past 30-plus years, every goddamn president that has come into office has signed away America slowly but surely. All right? NAFTA, trade agreements. I can go on and on. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, people need to realize that our country has been dismantled by the individuals that we've elected into power that have been secretly international soulless bureaucrats. And as I've stated, this is why we can no longer elect career politicians. We can no longer elect any of these damn career bureaucrats any longer. They're dangerous. They've ruined the country. That's why Donald Trump's candidacy is so important. And that's why we, as the Trump train, need to do whatever it takes to make sure that the proper information is facilitated to as many eyes as possible. That's why I am encouraging everybody within the sound of my voice to partake in this information war. I mean, this is really what it is. I mean, look at how the mainstream media talking heads on the boob tube are lying about Donald Trump. They're lying. They're outright lying, and the simpletons that are watching this son of a bitch are actually believing it. They're thinking of it as gospel. That's why I encourage each and every one of you folks, get a goddamn blog. If you don't want to get a blog, if you communicate better in video, get a video vlog. All right? If you don't want to do that, if you have a social media site and you got a lot of followers, you got a pretty good sphere of influence, well, by God, post news articles. All right? Retweet articles. I mean, spread the word about this show and every other show that is trying to promote and facilitate truth. Truth, all right? Seriously, folks, this is not a joke. All right? Get off the sidelines and get on the front lines, for Christ's sake. This election is that important. All right? This election is that important. Even if it's as little as, reposting a news article, retweeting something, suggesting news articles to other people, initiating dialogues in forum posts. Whatever the case might be, you are the new media, folks. You are the new media. The little things that you can do, believe it or not, sitting at the comfort of your damn desk or your damn sofa or wherever you are utilizing your computing device, you can influence people's perspectives. You can influence people's political ideas, for Christ's sake. You just got to do it. You just got to do it. You got to put the game controller down for a couple of minutes, all right? You got to stop watching the cartoons for a couple of minutes, for Christ's sake. And you got to go out and do it. You got to go out and do it, man. I mean, why do you think I'm doing what I'm doing, folks, all right? I mean, aside from trying to spread capitalist idealism and spark capitalist synapses in the brains of people throughout the world, my other prime directive is to make sure that Donald Trump is elected, for Christ's sake, all right? I'm serious. That is my prime directive. My prime directive is that Donald Trump has to be elected for capitalism's sake, for America's sake. All right? And I'm telling you that the capitalists have already taken control of the GOP, and we're going to go right after that White House, boy. And when the capitalists take control of this country, we are going to make it great again. I cannot wait for the day that the capitalists finally start facilitating their creativity, their prowess, their abilities, and being able to reestablish employment for the country, reestablish long-term employment, reestablish benefits, so on and so forth, reestablish communities, putting people back to work. I cannot wait for the day, folks. Now, unfortunately, folks, we are running out of time as it relates to the other subject matters on the table. I'm going to talk a little bit more about what happened, the news coming out about Mandela. I'm going to talk a little bit about Venezuela. And I'm definitely going to go in depth about the China's Cultural Revolution in the third hour. So before I get into Radio Graffiti, I would encourage everybody, if you want to partake in the third hour, right before the show ends, go ahead and try to call up at 513-453-9903. And moreover, if you're not able to get through, you can always download the podcast as soon as it's finished at blogtalkradio.com/ghost. All right, that's blogtalkradio.com/ghost. That and every show that yours truly has ever conducted is there available to download for free. All right? Absolutely free. That's what it's all about, baby. I'm trying to spark synapses in capitalist brains throughout the world, baby. Anyway, folks, before I get into anything else, I want to let everybody know that it's about that time for everybody's favorite part of the broadcast, and I'm talking about Radio Graffiti! Well, that's right. Radio Graffiti, the part of the broadcast where the spectators become a part of the spectacle. All you have to do is call me right now at 516-453-9903, and when I call on your area code or on your Skype name, you have exactly 3 to 4 seconds to say whatever it is that's on your mind, for Christ's sake, all right? And let me tell you, when I call on you, don't be a Helen Keller deaf mute, all right? Say something, for Christ's sake. And, of course, if you're calling in and you're finding a hard time getting through, don't worry. As we go through the Radio Graffiti list, we're knocking these people off, so keep trying, baby. Keep trying. And, of course, if you want to be called on, once you're on the air, once you're actually in the queue, press 1 if you want to be called on, all right? Press the number 1 if you want to be called on. Anyway, here we go, folks. We're going to start Radio Graffiti right now. All right. Here we go. 727 Radio Graffiti.
Hey, man, do you have a handicap van I could buy off of you?
Yeah, shove it up your ass. 808 Radio Graffiti.
Yo, guys, Capitalist here, man. Just keep me on for the after show, but I do want to say a little something for those liberals. If you guys want bureaucracy so much, just remember Hawaii.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, it's pretty bad over there. Hey, you might want to press 1-808 to take yourself off the queue there. 949 Radio Graffiti.
Hey, I just want to say if Sarah Palin gets elected, she needs to go back to the kitchen, make us some pie, and start having some babies. Keep me on the line.
All right, press 1, all right, man? All right, let's see, 606, Radio Graffiti.
Hello, how you doing? I just want to tell you how much I appreciate you, and I really love all the Steve Rambos and the Ray Harleys of the world, and I think you're one of the biggest of all. So thanks a lot, Ghost. I'll keep listening to you, brother. True Capitalist Army forever.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Renegade Supreme Dalek, Radio Graffiti. Poseidon.
You're a fruity ass is where I'm standing. You're a fruit bowl.
Ghost, how dare you insult God?
You mad? You mad?
That's it. Texas shall be forever underwater. Enjoy swimming out of here, Ghost.
Jesus.
Poseidon.
See that, Ghost? Good luck building an ark, because Texas will be flooded any minute now.
funny about that?
You know, you sons of bitches, you know what I'm saying? I mean, what, now you're getting biblical on my ass, for Christ's sake? It's not funny, all right? Screw you assholes that are out here making fun of the freaking Texas floods, the Texas hailstorms, the Texas tornadoes that are happening out here on such a goddamn frequent basis. It's freaking pathetic. Enough. Jesus Christ. 609 Radio Graffiti. Great. Where were you, at the cafeteria waiting for Mammy or something? 205 Radio Graffiti.
Hey, Ghost, I'm out here on 6th Street. Come on down and we'll play Marco Polo.
Yeah, right, you son of a bitch. 732 Radio Graffiti.
Let's get Trump, make America great again, and fuck the liberal bureaucrats.
You're damn right. Screw the bureaucrats, man. Screw them. 940 Radio Graffiti.
French doors? I'm back, Ghost. French doors?
That doesn't even sound like French doors. 609 Radio Graffiti.
You're Nico Murder's waifu.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Who else do we got going on over here? How about 435 Radio Graffiti?
Roses are red, violets are blue. This show is like wrestling, because Radio Graffiti is fake too.
Oh, shut up, you stupid moron. If it's fake, then how the hell did you get on, you stupid, dumb, fruity-sounding milky liquor? 813 Radio Graffiti. Not too bad, man. I'm telling you, that's some pretty good piano playing right there. 615 Radio Graffiti.
It will be legal in Texas to shoot a sighting.
Jesus Christ, with these goddamn splices. Enough, I said. Enough. I'm warning you. I'm warning all of you scumbags. If I hear any more of this goddamn Texas flood jokes or Texas freaking hail jokes or whatever the crap, I got two words for your scumbag asses. Punitive damages! 214 Radio Goddamn Graffiti.
There it goes. Don't you know that women in Europe, they deserve it. They're walking around all slutty. Of course we are going to rape them.
Well, that's just horrible. That's just disgustingly horrible. Damn you! 903 Radio Graffiti.
Ghost, I can hear your wheels squealing from here. You know that water makes them rust over, right? You really should get those replaced, man.
Now shove it up your ass, all right? Shove it up your ass! 646 Radio Graffiti.
Hey, Ghost, speaking of floods, I'm hoping to make a new book called Horton Hears the Floodgates Breaking. How do you think that sounds? That'll be like $2 billion in the...
Yeah, real funny. Enough, all right? Enough! 269 Radio Graffiti.
Ghost, you're a fucking idiot if you don't believe in climate change.
If I don't believe in climate change, why is that? Because you said?
Because that is what I said, and it's because 9 out of 10 scientists agree that climate change is real.
Oh, that is the biggest bunch of malarkey I've ever heard in my life, all right? I mean, I think it was Anonymous that released the freaking the emails from the scientists during the COP15 or what the hell? Remember the Copenhagen stupid dumb freaking summit? Remember that? They released the emails from these goddamn stupid scientists. It's a big joke. It's a scam. All right? Get out of here. And if it is changing, it has nothing to do with human beings, all right? It has everything to do with whatever the hell's happening that is beyond our goddamn control. Stop trying to tax human beings for breathing, assholes. Stop trying to tax human beings for breathing so that they can fund the United Nations being a global institutionalist power. Because that's all this climate change crap is about. It's about taxing everybody throughout the world for breathing. All right? Because it's our fault that climate change is happening, which is a bunch of horse shit. Anyway, 678 Radio Graffiti.
Hey, Ghost, you were a lunch lady at the local high school of mine. I remember you.
Yeah, sure. That's stupid. 616 Radio Graffiti.
Hi, Ghost. This is Dr. Rational speaking. I thought I'd let you know we're ready to give Templeton the sex change operation you requested. We just need to know...
Shove it up your fruit bowl ass. 703 Radio Graffiti. Yeah, Jesus Christ. I mean, you're deep-throating the phone. We can't hear you. 773 Radio Graffiti.
Hey, Ghost, Manhood Magic here. Love the show. Keep up the great work. Shout out to Templeton and the engineer.
Hey, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it. 502 Radio Graffiti.
This is Shronicus, High Priest of the Cult of Poseidon. If you besmirch my lord one more time, I got 2 words for you. Flood damages.
Oh, shove it up your ass, all right? Enough of this crap. Stupid son of a bitch. 630 Radio Graffiti.
Sarah Palin shouldn't be in the White House. She should be in the kitchen making the capitalist army sandwiches.
Yeah, that's right, man. Oh, man, I love that guy. I don't know what it is, man. All right, this is enough, man. I shouldn't be doing that, man. All right, let's take a Big American Patriot, Radio Graffiti. Let me tell you something, Harp. We need more rain in Texas. We need more rain, for Christ's sake, and not to mention more hail. What's happening here in Texas is funny business. It's fun in Texas. These natural disasters, these things that are happening are funny. Goddamn sons of... Goddamn it! Goddamn you! I told you idiots, enough! Enough already, for Christ's sake! Oh my God, enough! It's really gonna hail again, for Christ's sake! I mean, we got more hail coming! We got more rain coming, for Christ's sake! I mean, it's gonna hail apples again, for Christ's sake! It's gonna hail apples, and I can't stand this crap already! Good God! Good God! Enough! Alright, please, enough! Jesus Christ, you soulless scumbags! Give me the mic! Give me the mic! Give me the mic! That freaking mic over here. Jesus Christ, you scumbag sons of bitches. Oh my God. Mr. Sev, Radio Graffiti.
I shape shift. I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that? Serious crap. I'm sick of being so...
Hey, he stole my act. That goes to show you that Alex Jones, that's why I don't like the man, all right? Look, I appreciate what he's doing, all right? I appreciate his little organization. They are producing some decent content. But as far as me and Alex Jones are concerned, unless this man finally admits that, hey, look, I go to the True Capitalist Radio broadcast for inspiration, I just, it's personal, all right? It's goddamn personal. 205 Radio Graffiti.
Anime push, 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 anime push. They be fine as a motherfucker. Anime push, yeah, you know.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Oh man. 614 Radio Graffiti.
Hear that, Ghost? My dogs are saying you should replace Templeton with a black lab and take it swimming on 6th Street. Oh, my.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Damn it! Damn it! Leave my dog alone and stop! 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 Stop with the goddamn flood jokes, alright? I mean, good God, man! Jesus Christ, if it's not the freaking flood jokes, you people are picking on my dog. Oh, my God. I don't know what I'm doing here, for Christ's sake. I don't even know what I'm doing here. Oh, my God. Oh, Jesus Christ. Give me the mic. Give me the mic. Give me the freaking mic, for Christ's sake. These freaking trolls, man. I'm telling you, these freaking trolls, man. I'm taking a couple more callers, then we're going to have to wind this whole goddamn live freak show down, for Christ's sake. Thai Fruit Drag and Radio Goddamn Graffiti.
Yeah, I wish you got tornadoes out here, for Christ's sake. You got non-stop rain and you people think it's a big freaking show. It's freaking hailing apples out here. It's hailing apples.
Jesus Christ, I just said that. And secondly, stop making me sound like half a tard, for Christ's sake. Stop making me sound like half a tard. Jesus Christ, you urinal cake curator. Jesus Christ. Cave Johnson, Radio Graffiti.
I'm broadcasting to a bunch of troll terrorists. I'm broadcasting to a bunch of cyber vermin. I'm broadcasting to a bunch of cartoon-faced pricks. I'm broadcasting to a bunch of freak show trolls. I don't care. I'm racist. I don't care. I'm a Jew. I'm a Jew. I don't care. I'm crippled. I don't care. I'm a...
Jesus. Get this goddamn crap out of here. Now, this is just disgusting. If it's not the goddamn trolls that are trolling the rain, if they're not trolling my dog, freaking remixes, man. I mean, have you done a YouTube search for all the goddamn remixes that are done of me? For Christ's sake, it's pathetic. Oh, my God. Give me the mic. Give me the freaking mic, for Christ's sake. Jesus Christ. One more goddamn call before we get off the damn live broadcast. Dick Breath, Radio Graffiti. See another crash here at any point. And once again, it's hard to pinpoint when the crash is going to happen. Jesus Christ, I just said that in the beginning of the show. I mean, what are you idiots are trying to set Guinness Book of World Records on the fastest goddamn splice, for Christ's sake? The fastest remix, for Christ's sake? That's creepy. That's creepy, for Christ's sake. It's internet butt-stalker-esque, for Christ's sake. It's used urinal cake curation. It's sick. It's twisted. It's gross, for Christ's sake. Jesus Christ. Anyway, folks, we're about to end the damn live broadcast, and we're going to continue a little bit with the post-show edition of the True Capitalist Radio Show. Of course, if you want to tune into that, all you have to do is call in right now if you can. 516-453-9903. Ghost. All right, be sure to follow me on Twitter, and then bookmark the official website of the show, blogtalkradio.com/ghost. That's blogtalkradio.com/ghost. Same place, same time tomorrow, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. Long live the capitalist army, baby! All right, now we are officially off the air of the live broadcast, and the only people that are going to be able to tune in with us right now are those that are listening live via the phone, and of course those that are listening in via the podcast. And I want to thank you for your patronage, especially you podcast listeners out there. I know that you guys, sometimes you can't partake with us in the live show, and we are live every Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. So let everybody know and spread it around like wildfire that we are in effect in the house every 4 p.m. Central Standard Time in America and throughout the world. And moreover, folks, I like doing this post-show edition of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast because it's a treat for the podcasters, for Christ's sake. And I do want to reiterate that we are going to extend the show starting next month 1 more hour, so it'll be a 3-hour edition, 3-hour live edition of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. So make sure to let everybody know that we are in effect in the house on this live broadcast, and next month it'll be 3 hours, and moreover, we will be able to add and let people listen on the phone. I mean, we're going to have, I think, 50 more lines, I believe it is, on the phone so that more people can call in, more people can participate, so on and so forth. So I'm very excited about that. So make sure to put that on your calendars. This summer, it's going to be a True Capitalist Radio summer, baby. 3 hours. All right? We may even add on a little bit of post-show edition into the 4th hour, depending on time constraints and depending on how I feel, for Christ's sake. Because as you can see, these goddamn troll terrorists are they're scumbags, as you can see. They're soulless, as you can see. But anyway, I want to get to the subject matters that I did not get to at the beginning of the show because we were covering so much. All right, the last subject matter we were talking about prior to going into Radio Graffiti was that the U.S. and the United Nations are going to import more arms into Libya so that they can aid the so-called, the country there. I mean, once again, when Muammar Gaddafi was overthrown from power, folks, they were raising the Al-Qaeda flag in the capital of Libya. All right? I mean, give me a goddamn break, for Christ's sake. But anyway, enough of that. We talked about that in the previous hour. I do want to talk a little bit about how this new article that has come out, as a matter of fact, this new report that has come out, that the CIA was actually the group in charge of Nelson Mandela's arrest, and I believe it was in 1962. Now, of course, the reigning government that is there at the time, which was what Nelson Mandela's political affiliation was, the ANC, the African National Congress, they came out today to rebuke this particular article and suggested that the United States is pushing for regime change after the Nelson Mandela CIA story. And, to be honest with you folks, I wouldn't doubt if they are. I mean, ever since Nelson Mandela got out of prison and then he became the president of South Africa, I mean, where has South Africa gone, to be honest with you? It's gone nowhere. I mean, the people that he was supposedly going to liberate, I mean, the whole reason for the African National Congress was to, basically fight against apartheid, I mean, which is a rightful cause. But at the same time, when the African National Congress came to power, the people that they were supposed to help that were afflicted with apartheid are living in basically the same conditions they were living during apartheid. All right? I mean, they're just intermixed a little bit with some white folk. I mean, I don't understand why, first of all, Nelson Mandela is such a hero. First of all, he was a goddamn communist. All right, let's be honest, folks. He was a goddamn communist. Why do you think the damn CIA was on this idiot's tail to begin with? He was a communist, all right? And I know people want to believe that Nelson Mandela was this, wonderful person and that, oh, look at this guy, he did so much great things. The African National Congress has been in charge of South Africa for, Jesus Christ, how many years? At least over 30, all right? I mean, Jesus Christ, what have they done? They've done nothing. They've helped themselves, for Christ's sake. I mean, remember when Nelson Mandela's wife, for Christ's sake, got into some trouble? Because she was, just splurging like she was freaking Marie Antoinette, for Christ's sake. I mean, this is what you got out here. I mean, this is what happens when, these bureaucrats and these supposed political activists, well, this is what happens to them once they attain power. They all become corrupt. All right, absolute power corrupts absolutely, for Christ's sake. I mean, that's a perfect example of Nelson Mandela. And let me tell you, the African National Congress accusing the U.S. of pushing regime change, there should be regime change. All right, there should be, because you all have done nothing, ANC, out there in South Africa. You've done absolutely nothing for the people that you were supposed to help. You've done nothing but help yourselves, like traditional bureaucrats, like traditional community activists, like traditional political activists. Once you have taken power, you've done nothing but help yourselves, and that includes Nelson goddamn Mandela, all right? So I'm glad this CIA story came out today and suggested that the CIA was the one that was basically in charge of basically directing the arrest of Nelson Mandela. All right? Thank God. All right? Because he was a damn communist. He was a damn communist, and anybody who doesn't think so, you need to reread your goddamn history on the man. All right? And okay, they came to power, all right? The ANC's in power in South Africa. It's been in power for I don't know how goddamn long, for Christ's sake. And what has happened to the people that they were supposed to save? Absolutely nothing. Nothing. So anyway, folks, I think there should be regime change in South Africa. I mean, the African National Congress has let down the people that they were supposed to save. All that supposed struggle, all that strife, the 27 years Mandela spent in prison was for what? So that they could just be corrupt bureaucrats. That's all it comes down to, folks. I'm telling you, all it comes down to. It's sick, it's pathetic, and the proof is in the substance or the lack thereof of their power, their reign of power. There's a lack of substance in their reign of power. They have refused to help or refused to acknowledge to help the people that they claim needed the help, the people that they used to get into power. That's typical liberal leftist crap. They utilize and exploit the impoverished so that they can gain some sort of fictitious moral high ground, and then once they attain power, they become the sleazeballs that they were supposedly fighting against, for Christ's sake. It's pathetic. It's utterly pathetic. So once again, folks, Nelson Mandela, the stories come out, a CIA agent came out and said, hey, we helped arrest Nelson Mandela, all right? And of course, the African National Congress is suggesting that this is propaganda pushing for regime change in South Africa. And you know what? There should be. All right? There should be, and that's all there is to it. All right? And if you don't like it, African National Congress, well, then do something for your people. Do something for your people, for Christ's sake, instead of being a bunch of gluttonous bureaucrats, a bunch of corrupt pieces of trash. Give me a break. Anyway, folks, has anybody seen what's happening in Venezuela as of late? I mean, good Lord. I mean, Jesus Christ, socialism is dying there a horrible death. Horrible death. All right? I mean, seriously, these people are running out of every natural resource possible in complete hysteria because of the dumbasses in the government ran by Nicolas Maduro, who took over from Hugo Chavez, all right, after Hugo Chavez supposedly died of cancer. If you want my personal opinion, I think that there was a power struggle, or something he was made to die for some reason, in my personal opinion. He looked like a healthy prick to me. He looked like he ate lots of bean and cheese, and he didn't look that unhealthy. So I think he was purposely eliminated, to say the least. All right. Now you've got Nicolas Maduro continuing the supposed socialist revolution out here. And let me tell you, the hauntings of corrupt central planning is finally haunting the Venezuelans. And for you folks that are unaware, I talked about this several shows ago. The whole reason why they have to have 4 to 5 hour blackouts a day is because of the lack of energy resources that have been constructed by the Venezuelan government. Now, what's really sad is that the Venezuelan government took advantage of high oil prices for a long period of time, and moreover, they have like either one of or the second largest oil deposit underneath their feet, so they felt that they would always be able to sell their oil on the world market and make enough money to be able to suffice any natural resources that the government needs to consume. Unfortunately, that's not the case. Because just like every leftist government, they outspend their asses off, and most of it went into the damn bureaucrats' pockets. That's why Nicolas Maduro looks like a fat piece of trash, because while everybody out there is starving to death, while now, I mean, have you seen the riots in supermarkets, the looting for food? I mean, it's utter horrific chaos in Venezuela, thanks to socialism, and it's dying a horrid death. Nicolas Maduro came out and said that he is going to have the military implement military exercises within the region. Basically, he is implementing martial law, and he is going to basically punish the people even more for the incompetence of government central planning. And I think that Nicolas Maduro should step down, and if he doesn't step down, he should be forcefully removed from power. He should be forcefully removed from power, all right? I'm talking Pinochet style, if necessary, all right? I'm not joking around. I'm talking Pinochet style, if necessary. This Nicolas Maduro and the whole goddamn leftist socialist regime of that damn country needs to be eliminated, all right? And that's why I'm calling on the Venezuelan people. It's a capitalist revolution, all right, over there too. Demand capitalism. It's death to socialism. It's dying a horrible death. And you know, folks, there is such a lack of natural resources in Venezuela right now because of the mass hysteria, because of the looting that's happening in supermarkets and all over the place, that Nicolas Maduro is also taking it upon himself to seize control of private companies and arresting owners. I mean, this guy is going complete and total all-out leftist totalitarian martial law. And the reason he's doing that is because he's taking control of the natural resources. He's taking control of the means of production. Why is he taking control of it? Because he wants them. Because the bureaucrats want it. All right? Because they want to continue to be fed. I mean, why do you think Nicolas Maduro's a fat piece of trash? All right? I'm serious. I'm not joking. I mean, this is what it's all about, and I'm calling on the Venezuelan military especially. If there is somebody that can assume command, it is time for you to, basically dispense justice with extreme prejudice and basically take out, all right? Take out, for Christ's sake, the goddamn regime of the socialists in Venezuela, all right? That's all there is to it. Take them out. Take them all out. I'm sick of it. I'm glad socialism is dying a horrific death in South America, all right? In Venezuela. It's dying in Brazil. It's dying in Argentina. It's dying everywhere. The unfortunate byproducts and the unfortunate victims are those that are living within those socialist states. It's a horrific tragedy what's happening to those folks. But I hope they never forget it. And you know, folks, believe it or not, what's so sad about the Venezuelan situation, amidst all the chaos, amidst all the movie Purge-like activity that's happening in Venezuela right now, they just closed down their last brewery, their last beer brewery, so these poor people can't even drown in their own sorrows, for Christ's sake. They have to witness the chaos and the utter disgusting state-induced socialist hysteria and the violence in pure sobriety. I mean, good Lord, I couldn't even imagine. I could not even imagine. I'm telling you, I feel sorry for those folks in Venezuela, and I hope that Nicolas Maduro is removed from power and his fat ass is brought to justice by the Venezuelan people. All right? And I'm telling you, hey, Maduro, you've got less than a month left in your regime, in my opinion, and you have just about that amount of time to either step down voluntarily and send your fat ass into exile, or the capitalists of Venezuela are going to come in and take power. Do you understand that? The capitalists are going to go into Venezuela, and they're going to take power, and they're going to arrest you, and they're going to arrest your regime, and they're going to bring you to justice. And if you don't believe it, just give it a month and see how the people of Venezuela are going to accept, or not accept, I should say, this ridiculous martial law decree that you're implementing on the people of Venezuela. They're not going to stand for it, and they're going to call for your head, Maduro. They're going to call for your head. And I'm telling you, they deserve it. Those socialists, what they've done to Venezuela, they deserve it. Anyway, folks, I want to talk a little bit about the 50th anniversary of China's Cultural Revolution, folks. And, of course, the Communist Chinese, they're not celebrating the 50th anniversary. As a matter of fact, the state Chinese media is not even acknowledging it. They're staying silent on the subject. Oh, why? Huh? Why are you staying silent on the subject, China? Maybe because it was one of the most sickest, ridiculous, pathetic episodes in in world history, one of the most sickest, human, corrupt, mental, handicapped, freaking episodes in world history. Now, I'm going to get brief, but I'm going to talk about the Chinese history and what the Cultural Revolution is. Now, many of you folks that have been listening to me for a long time probably already know the story. I've talked about it many times, but it bears repeating because this is communism. This is the consequence of communism. This is the consequence of giving the authority to the government. This is what happens. Whether it's socialism or communism, it's the same crap, different plate, all right? Now, once upon a time, all right, Mao Zedong came to power. Now, I don't want to discuss how he came to power, but he was lucky, all right? He came in and fought in China during the 10,000-mile march, and you should read about that if you were fascinated with Chinese history. Mao Zedong led the communist 10,000-mile march in which he went from village to village all over China recruiting communists, and in the midst of that 10,000-mile march, this guy was, basically implementing guerrilla-style warfare tactics against the Chinese nationalists, which were in charge at the time under the leadership of Chiang Kai-shek, and at the same time taking pop shots at the Japanese who had just bombed Pearl Harbor and were invading China to take the natural resources within its country. So basically, Mao Zedong saw an opportunity during the time of World War II to basically, when they found the Chinese nationalists fighting the Japanese, I mean, the freaking Mao Zedong would just come in through the middle and start blowing these people up altogether. I mean, that's how the communists took control of the country. They found a precarious situation when Japan was invading China and Chiang Kai-shek and the nationalists were trying to build China. I mean, they brought in foreign investment. They created factories. They created railroads. They built a little bit of infrastructure within China. All right? But then World War II happened. The Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor so that they can get the natural resources from China. All right, and because they had to battle the Chinese nationalists because they weren't going to just let them into their country, you had Mao Zedong seize this opportunity and kill both sides. He literally would guerrilla warfare attack both these goddamn Japanese and Chinese nationalists while they were fighting and flank them from the side and kill them all. That's why they claim that this stupid idiot Mao Zedong is such a goddamn supposed guerrilla warfare fighter, when all he was an opportunist, man. I mean, anybody could have directed, especially the amount of forces he had. Remember, I mean, this is China. There was almost 1 billion people even at that time. This guy had millions of people partaking in this 10,000-mile march. All right? I mean, and just to go in and be able to pop shot Chinese nationalists and pop shot Japanese, that's not very hard to do. Not very hard to do whatsoever. So anyway, he finally takes power, okay? Now, some time goes by, he implements the communist state, his own version of the communist state, all right? And in that version of the communist state, he insists, he is fanatical on rapidly making peasantry-based China into a modernized industrial state. And he wanted to do this at such a rapid rate that he was willing to sacrifice a good, I don't know, what was it, 25 million, 30 million lives plus to get it, all right? I mean, it was one of the most horrid episodes of famine next to the famine caused by Stalin and Lenin in history, all right? I mean, he literally allocated all the resources that were traditionally allocated for agriculture, all right? He took the peasants from the farms and said, look, you're going to make steel. You're going to manufacture steel. You're going to manufacture industrial goods, which, these farmers were like, oh, okay, I guess. I don't know how to do this crap. And they figured it out because, this idiot Mao Zedong was fanatical about making sure that, peasantry China turns into an industrial state. millions and millions of people each year during the Great Leap Forward is what they called this. The Great Leap Forward was this episode in which China and Mao Zedong demanded that China become a modernized industrial state. And it cost the lives of like 30, 40 million Chinese people due to famine, due to starvation, due to working to death. Of course, political arrests, re-education camps, the works, okay? Now, after the Great Leap Forward, which, I mean, I guess you can pretty much say that the Great Leap Forward basically aided in the idea that that China was starting to come out of peasantry. I mean, it only took about 40 million lives, but they were actually coming out of peasantry. Mao Zedong, this was probably like 10 years after the Great Leap Forward. Mao Zedong's apparatus, his bureaucracy that he created, they started realizing that Mao Zedong, was a little nuts. All right, they didn't like the Mao Zedong policies. These were the guys that were in his government at the time who fought with him during the 10,000-mile march. I mean, these were guys that fought with Mao. I mean, everybody that was in his government was a part of that Chinese revolution. Now, these people that fought alongside Mao, that were a part of his government, were starting to realize that, Mao, he's a little nuts. I don't think we necessarily need this guy anymore, but we can't just remove him from power because he's become a figurehead and much like a secularist God figure in our communist regime. So what these bureaucrats decided to try to do to Mao Zedong was to nullify his power through bureaucratic mechanisms. They tried to utilize the system. Now, once again, I always tell everybody that once a bureaucratic system is created, it is hard to kill. It is hard to dismantle. It is hard to get rid of. And you see, bureaucrats start to realize this because systems all of a sudden begin to have a life of their own. Once a system is created, once a hierarchy is created and is accepted by people within that system, the whole damn system creates a whole new life. It becomes a whole new entity within itself. So within that entity, you had people within the Communist government of China wanting to nullify Mao Zedong's influence. So they utilized bureaucratic methods that were available via the communist system in an attempt to nullify politically Mao Zedong. Mao Zedong found this out, basically knew about it, and you know what this idiot did? This moron put out the Red Book, all right, the infamous Red Book, okay? He puts out the Red Book and, of course, forces everybody in China to read it. All right, and lest we forget that prior to the Cultural Revolution, all right, and right after the Great Leap Forward, everybody that was educated in China was educated that Mao Zedong was some god, that he was the one that, basically unified China after hundreds of years. They looked to him as a very key figure. So when Mao Zedong put out this Red Book on top of the education systems ingratiating this guy as some kind of a goddamn god, he utilized that influence within his people to tap into a revolutionary type of, I guess, hidden fervor that was within the people. Because Mao Zedong did not like that his bureaucrats were nullifying his power. So what he did is he called on the Cultural Revolution, which means he called on all the youth, because at the time, because of all the damn strife and the Chinese Revolution and the war with Japan and China, a lot of the older generations were dwindling. I mean, there were more people within China that were under the age of 24 at the time than were over the age of 24. So what Mao Zedong did is decided to call on the youth. And I swear to God this happened. This is what the Cultural Revolution, this is what the 50th anniversary of the Cultural Revolution is. All right? Mao Zedong, this sick, sadistic bastard, called on the entire country of China to start killing the politicians, to start killing the police, start killing the teachers, even killing their parents because they have become corrupted by the capitalist system, by the enemy, by the bourgeoisie, so on and so forth. All right? I'm serious. I mean, I'm not joking. I mean, this is what Mao Zedong called on. He said, kill your teachers, kill your family, kill the politicians, kill the freaking police. And you know what these people did? They did it! They did it, for Christ's sake, man! I mean, take a look at YouTube scenes of the Cultural Revolution, for Christ's sake, man! I mean, the young people were basically taking the trains, which were built by the capitalists because of Chiang Kai-shek letting in foreign investment. They were taking the trains and going from goddamn village to village, town to town, and basically having, quote, revolutionary experiences by killing whoever in the hell was in charge of these sons of bitches. I kid you not. I kid you not. That's what the Cultural Revolution was. It was Mao Zedong single-handedly calling on the youth to kill everybody who was a part of the government, all right? Because it was basically a reset, quote-unquote, of the government, because the government had become corrupt, according to Mao. The government had become, the bourgeoisie had become the enemy, and they were trying to make the enemy, or make China into the enemy. I guess it was the allegation implied by Mao Zedong, so that's why you had to kill him. And that's what the Cultural Revolution was all about, for Christ's sake, man. I mean, I can't believe it. I mean, that's why you got to take Chinese people with a grain of salt, literally, man. I mean, this was the same guy who literally, with the Great Leap Forward, killed about 40 or 50 million of these people, all right? Then comes around, calls for the calls for the Cultural Revolution, and in that he kills another 30, 40 million people as it relates to the Cultural Revolution, killing the teachers, killing the police, killing the government. I kid you not, this actually happened, and that's why the current Chinese regime in power today is completely silent on the 50th anniversary of the Cultural Revolution in China. It was one of the most disgusting, pathetic episodes in human history that I have ever seen, all right? One idiot tells a whole billion people to go out and kill the government, kill their teachers, kill the police, kill their parents, and they do it. It's completely psychotic. Now, on a footnote, folks, just to show you even how psychotic and how trollish psychotic Mao Zedong was, right before he's about to check out of this life, all right? Right before he's about to die, what does he do? He makes friends with the United States. Oh, my God, for Christ. I mean, what a psycho, man. What a psychotic piece of trash. What a psycho. Okay? I mean, this guy decides to go make nice with Nixon, all right? And let me tell you, during the schooling of people in China, they would actually stab effigies of Nixon with bayonets. They would stab him. Ha! Ha! I'm serious. This is not a joke. And then you had Mao Zedong walking with freaking Richard Nixon in Tiananmen Square, for Christ's sake. I mean, it shocked the hell out of the Chinese people, for Christ's sake. But that's Mao Zedong for you. All right, that's Mao Zedong, some psychotic piece of freaking rice bowl, chopstick up the ass having psychopath trash. And that's why anybody who admires Mao Zedong has a few screws loose, to say the least. All right? They're psychotic and sick, and they should be watched over to make sure that they don't want to start killing millions of people, just like Mao Zedong did, just for the fun of it. So anyway, folks, that's the Cultural Revolution in a nutshell. That's sick-ass, psychotic Mao Zedong, for Christ's sake. All right? And that's why the Chinese people and the Chinese government is not saying a goddamn thing about it. All right? Now, anyway, folks, I got to get the hell out of here. I would like to go and take some more Radio Graffiti calls right now. It's looking bad out here in Austin, Texas. It's going to rain again. It's going to hail, for Christ's sake. So, before all that happens, I want to get the hell out of here, make sure I am in shelter, in safety out there at my place. So I'm sorry if I didn't take any more Radio Graffiti calls here on this post-show edition. But once again, folks, I mean, it just won't stop raining out here in Texas. It won't stop raining. It's hail and apples, for Christ's sake. It's hail and apples. Freaking tornado warnings, all this crap. So once again, folks, my apologies. I would have taken some more Radio Graffiti callers today. We'll make sure to get some more tomorrow. Same place, same time, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, folks. All right, blogtalkradio.com/ghost. That's blogtalkradio.com/ghost, the official website of the True Capitalist Radio Show. And, of course, if you haven't already done so, please follow me on Twitter. Politics Ghost is the name to follow. All one word, no underscores. Politics Ghost is the name to follow. Anyway, folks, I will be back tomorrow, same place, same time. We'll try to extend the time of Radio Graffiti since we didn't get to everybody today. My apologies. Once again, folks, suggest anything that you want to listen to or anything you want to discuss on this show at Politics Ghost. And, of course, folks, make sure to spread it around like wildfire. That True Capitalist Radio is in effect and in the house, for Christ's sake. All right, we got all kinds of little Facebook like buttons and retweet this buttons and share this buttons right next to the player right there, all right? Use and abuse those freaking buttons, baby, all right? It's just a freaking click, for Christ's sake. Anyway, I am out of here, folks. Thank you very much for tuning in with me. Whether you're live or on the archive, thank you once again. Tune in tomorrow, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. Long live the capitalist army, and death to communism, death to socialism, death to feminism, and death to totalitarianism. I'm out of here, boy. Woo!
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.